welcome back to our channel. Ruth here, and I'm excited to share with you in today's video. We're going to talk about 7 indicators that you will be successful. So what are these indicators? Let's get started. Number 1, the first indicator that you will be successful is that you have the desire to improve and not settling for where you are. You're not satisfied. Sometimes you might get a little bit frustrated as to where you are, and you want to improve and you want more in life. You know, whilst it's really good for us to be thankful for what we have, I believe it's also important that we have that drive. You know, it's good to be thankful, but I don't think it's great to be complacent as to what we have, because the indicator that someone is going to be successful is that they have that desire to improve. They want more in life. And many times I feel that our passion is actually not just connected to what we love, but sometimes it could be connected to what we are frustrated about. You know, there might be certain things that completely bugs you, right? That does not affect your spouse or your family members. To them, it's like, oh, don't worry, it's all good, you know. But for you, you're thinking, my goodness, they could have improved it this way. They could have improved it that way. And that's because that's their calling. That's what they are meant to do in life. They are meant to improve and help improve that area, because all of us have got a different calling. We're called to do different things, and we all have our strengths and weaknesses. But if we can find out what that strength is, we can find out what that frustration is, and you can actually channel it to the right pathway, then I believe you will no doubt be successful. So my question to you is, do you have the desire to improve? And if so, what is the one thing that frustrates you, but what is the one thing that, you know, excites you when you wake up in the morning? So if you don't have that, it's time for you to dream again. Indicator number 2 that you will be successful is you are a person who is persistent. You will not let it go. Now, it's so important that we don't give up when things get tough. You know, the thing is, failure is actually part of success. Failure is not failure itself. In fact, if you ask most successful people and most successful companies, a lot of them have failed in different things. They've tried different things and it's not worked out. But you know what? They do not give up. So my question to you is, will you give up, or are you going to keep pursuing? Now, I remember I actually grew up in the island of Borneo, which is East Malaysia. So when I was growing up, I went to a school and all the subjects were delivered in our national language, which is Malay. There was only one subject that was not delivered in Malay, and that was English, right? So when I finished secondary school, I decided to go to law school. I actually had a full scholarship to do an A-levels program, which is like a pre-law program. So the examiners were actually based in the UK, and we had UK syllabus. And I remember I had to move to another city to attend this college. So I was by myself. My parents were not with me. I was 18. And I was, you know, man, I'm going to law school. You know, I can do this. What happened was, I could already speak English before that, but not, you know, not great. So they gave us books, right? And my first subject was called jurisprudence law. And I opened the book, and I'm not kidding. If there were 10 words in one sentence, I wouldn't be able to understand 5 of those words. You know why? Because some of those words were English, like real English words. But some of those words were in Latin, because, you know, the UK legal system, you know, we actually glean from the Latin Roman law. So I remember I used to go to the library. You know, I was such a nerd, with 2 massive dictionaries. So I had my Webster's English dictionary, you know, so I can write down, you know, all the different words and what they mean. And I also had my legal dictionary, which is a translation, you know, from Latin to English, you know, de jure, etc. But anyways, so that's the story of my life. And I remember when I was doing my first year, there were probably about 50 students in my class. And within 6 months into the program, I think we have about 20 left, because 30 of them quit because it was too hard. I mean, the thing is, English was not our first language, and it was just simply too difficult. And at the end of it, I think, I don't know, perhaps a handful of us sat for the exam. But it was a scary experience, but I persisted. I learned, I relied on my dictionary. And then after about 2 years of completing the program, we had to sit for an exam. And it was a UK-based exam. We had to send our papers to a marker from the UK. And little did I know that when the results came back, I got an A. I was really, really, like, wow, I got an A for the subject of law. But the thing that surprised me even more was when I received a phone call from my lecturer. He said, "Ruth, I want you to come to my office now." And I said, "Okay, well, am I in trouble?" So I got to his office and he said, "I've got a letter for you." And he showed me the letter, and it was actually a letter from the British Council in the UK. And they said, "Well, we want to congratulate Ruth because of all the candidates." I think there were about 560 something candidates. Ruth received top 10 in the subject of law, and we want to congratulate you. To me, that was like a dream come true, but more than that, because I felt like, I wasn't even able to read, like I couldn't even understand 5 out of the 10 words in one sentence. It was that bad. My dictionary was like kids' notebooks full of different colors, and, but what I want to share with you is that, do not ever give up. If it's your dream to do something, because it was my dream to be a lawyer, and at the time of recording this video, I've been a lawyer for about 13 years now. I'm a partner in the law firm, and thank God I have in the last 2 years been nominated as the best lawyer in my field, in my locality. So I just want to say there's nothing impossible. If you're persistent, if you would work hard, you can do it too. You can also be successful. So that's the second indicator that you're going to be successful, and that is to be persistent. The third indicator that you will be successful is you always want to learn. Now, that's a bit of a funny one because personally, I'm actually a kind of person who is quite comfortable. If I know something, I just want to stick with the same information. I don't like change. But apparently, that's not the case for anything that we do in life, whether it's in business, whether it's in our profession. We never actually stop learning. So keep learning, whether it's by reading books, articles, listening to podcasts. When you're commuting to work, instead of listening to the radio, perhaps you can put on like a podcast of something that's in your field so that you can become, established and perhaps increase your skill in your industry. So never stop learning. It is so important that we learn. There's a lot of free contents out there, but you have to keep learning. The fourth indicator that you will be successful is that you are a person of discipline. Now, I know that not all of us have got a lot of discipline. Now, personally, discipline came pretty naturally to me from a young age. In fact, my parents used to have to come to the room, my room upstairs, and they used to ask me not to study too hard because they noticed that I was studying till about 3-4 a.m. in the morning. I was getting really sick, but I just wanted to push myself. That was my natural thing. But if you're a person of discipline, you will say no to others. At the end of the day, you have the one life to live. So my question is, how many catch-ups can you do? How many coffees can you have? How many hangouts can you have? Now, I'm not saying that you should not have a social life, but if you are used to catching up with a friend 5 hours, each time you catch up, and you catch up on a weekly basis, perhaps you can schedule it to once a fortnight, or maybe cut it down to 2 hours so that you can come home and for 2 hours you can work on your dreams, work on your most important tasks, work on the one thing that is going to change your life forever. It could be starting a business. It could be wanting to, replace your 8 to 5 job by having an e-commerce store. Whatever it might be, it is a valid dream. Know that it is a valid dream, but if you don't do it, it's not gonna get done. The fifth thing, or rather the fifth indicator that you will be successful is that you are focused on your goal and your vision. Okay, so it doesn't matter what people say or do, doesn't matter what happens in life. There's almost that drive, you know, when you wake up in the morning before you go to sleep at night, or when you watch, when you're watching, you know, the TV and you see someone being successful, and in the back of your mind you're thinking, you know what, this is really what I want in my life. I want to achieve financial freedom. You know, I want to take my family for vacations. I want to pay off my house. I want to pay off the debt. I want to leave a better legacy for my children. So whatever it might be, you know, stay focused, because that's an indicator of you, that you are going to be successful. The sixth thing, or the sixth indicator that you will be successful, is that you work hard, you're diligent, and you're not afraid to work. You know, it's so important. I mean, everyone knows, you know, you need to work hard. But at the end of the day, you know, some might say, you know, you don't have to work hard, you just have to work smart. But regardless, I think you have to do both. You have to work hard and you have to work smart, right? Whatever it is that could help you reduce your time, if there's an app, if there is like a website or something that can help you reduce the time in doing certain things, that's fine. If you have to outsource, that's fine. But with the core things that you're working on, if it's a business, then you need to really think, okay, well, is my marketer doing the right thing? Are my bookkeepers doing the right thing? Do I know my numbers? Do I know how to increase the profit? Do I know how to reduce my costs, etc. and etc. So work hard, not an excuse to be lazy. And finally, the seventh indicator that you will be successful is if you start doing your MIT. So MIT stands for most important task. Now, some of you might have heard of the phrase, eat your frog. The first time I heard this phrase is through Brian Tracy, who is a very renowned motivational speaker. So Brian Tracy actually says, well, you gotta eat your frog. It doesn't mean that you have to go and get a frog and eat it, but what it means is you need to do the most important task first. Mark Twain actually said, if it's your job to eat a frog in the morning, then you eat it first thing in the morning. If your job is to eat 2 frogs, eat the most ugly one first. And what it really means is whatever that is most important, most difficult, do that first. And I think that's really valid because I actually apply it in my personal life, in my professional life. At the moment, I'm a partner in a law firm, so sometimes I have to go to the office and just look at, you know, the different cases, and I go, my goodness, okay, well, there's a deadline coming up. I don't really want to deal with this case, but it's the most urgent, most important, and it needs to get done. So what I'll do is I'll pick that case and I'll do my research, my submissions, I'll file whatever paperwork I need to file at the court. And once it's done, I feel like I'm now empowered to do the next thing, you know, and everything else becomes a little bit easier. I feel really, really empowered. So if you haven't tried the eat your frog concept yet, definitely try, but don't go and eat a real frog unless you're Asian. I'm Asian, but I don't eat frogs. So I hope that the contents of this video today is helpful, and I hope to see you next time. And last but not least, please would you consider clicking the like and subscribe button, because that's gonna mean the world to me, and we'll be able to keep you motivated on a weekly basis. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.